Hey y'all, how you doing today? I do apologize for that. Suffering a little sinus drainage and just nasty. So I'm going to spare you the details on all of that. But if if you see that, you hear that, that's what's going on. So I apologize in advance. Anyway, doing the oil change on the first oil change on my daughter's Cherokee. It's basically everything pretty basic and straightforward. It's not really all that radical or anything unusual, but I do want to share a couple of things with you about how I do oil changes and why I do them the way I do. So, first of all, let's get this turned. Okay, got you see the cardboard under here? All right, you notice I've got a pretty large drain pan that has the drain pan even is enclosed, so the oil goes into a compartment inside the drain pan in here, and I have a cap. The cap's that off. I have plugs that goes in those two holes right there, and I can close that off, which is pretty nice. Okay, and that leaves me in a much better state because I can move that thing around, that drain pan around, without having to worry about that oil splashing around in there. Now, when that thing's draining like that, I go through and I check all my fluids. Now, some folks, I try to let them drain to where they are dripping. They're still trickling out there pretty good. Let's see. Coolant looks, got that reddish kind of color. The level looks okay. So I'm going to leave that alone. Oh, you know what? I'll show you how to test this. This is really, really easy. Very, very easy. They make a coolant tester. You can buy these. They're really cheap. Or maybe I should say inexpensive. They're inexpensive. Okay. Here's what they are. It's just a simple little device. It works really great though. All you do, you stick the hose down in the coolant. See, just like this. Squeeze all your air out of your little bulb right there. Let it suck that coolant up in here. All right, one side will tell you what is good to as far as freezing protection, and one side tells you what is good to boiling. Freezing, this is good down to minus 43, which I think that'll do around here, considering that it's rare for us to see single digits around here. I mean, sometimes it will get down in the teens, but that's about it. So yeah, this isn't going to be like a really highly technical video, but I will say this. If you are changing the oil on one of these Jeeps like this, they do have this plastic cover right here. And I will tell you, it goes right in here. Actually, the other way around. All right, yeah, see, like so, but I'm not going to put it in there because this is already damaged right here. So, which if you want to remove this, it's just a bunch of these bolts here. I didn't remove it because the drain plug and the filter is accessible, which now you can see that this is dripping. So, all right, I'm going to put the drain plug in and I'm going to show you a little bit more, okay? Okay, y'all, I got the drain plug in, I got the oil filter on. Lubricate the seal, of course, no big deal. Just, you can use a little bit of that used engine oil right there. That's what I do. And then The drain plug is a 13 millimeter. Right there, 13 millimeter. Double check, make sure it's tight, make sure your filter's tight. So, I already tightened it up once, but I'm gonna double check just to make sure. Now, if you don't want this cover on here and you want to get rid of it, or you want to get it out of the way, 10 millimeter bolts, and there's several of them. Yep. So, and double check the filter. Yep, we're tight there. Now, some people will pre-fill the filter. I don't. That is more of a thing of preference rather than anything else. So you can do that, and some people claim that there is better life when you do that, but for me, it just creates more of a problem, more chance of a mess, you know, dropping it, spilling it out. Also there's a chance of getting some dirt in there too as well. So, okay, we can go ahead and start adding the oil. First, I'm going to put my radiator overflow tank cap back on. Oh, one important message about your drain plug and your oil filter. Make sure when you're putting them back in there, they just go in. There's none of this fighting it or anything like that. They just thread right in, thread right on, and go on, and that's that. Okay? None of this having to really work and make it work. All right, so I'm going to try to get to check the air filter, but I don't know that if I'm going to have time to do that. My daughter leaves in just a few minutes, and I want to get this thing up and going. I don't want there to be issues. All right, I'm going to add this oil. I'll show you a little bit more here in just a minute. Okay, y'all, I'm back. I thought I'd go ahead and check the other fluids. Let's see. A lot of these containers, you know, they're opaque in color, so all you got to do is just look at them, and you know, you can see the level in there. Sometimes just rock the container and you can see it moving around in there. So check my battery terminals, make sure they're clean, you know, relatively speaking. So, you know, just make sure there's no acid on the terminals or nothing like that. Then I look around, see if anything else is just out of place or, you know, looks weird or anything like that. So, anyway, also, I like using the funnel. And I like using the quart bottles because I can put a quart in there and then I can be checking other things. So, like I can be checking my tire pressures, I can be checking the air filter, I can be doing all of these different things. Okay, let's see. Let me set y'all up for just a minute so you can see what's going on. If I can find a place to put this, see what's going on. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. Okay, well, I apologize. It just doesn't look like it's going to happen. There's no good place to put the selfie stick. So, like I said before, it's just, you know, you got, I think there's 4 screws in here. They're Phillips or flathead. So I'm just going to go ahead and, I think I'll go ahead and just pull those real quick and get that thing exposed, get that filter exposed. Check it out. It should be okay. The vehicle has not had that many miles on it since. So we'll just go ahead and get that thing opened up. could also use probably like a 5/16. Okay, so all right, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna go ahead and get this off. There's like, it's missing one screw over there. You can probably see that. Don't drop the screws. So I'm gonna pause this. I'm gonna let y'all see what's happening here, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, y'all, got it out. This thing is kind of a booger to get out of this location, because if you leave the air hose hooked up, you still have to work with the air hose. As you can see, it has, you know, so that's all the space you get right there to get that air filter out. It's not necessarily the most difficult thing in the world, but it's not necessarily easy either. So just something to be aware of when you're changing the air filter on one of these. This one here looks fantastic. Of course, the old thing is hold it up to some light and see if you can see the light through it. I see light through there. I think you can see that on the camera. So I'm okay with that. That's pretty good. I mean, you can take them and knock some of the dirt out, but, and then when you get done with that, just put it right back in. Okay, but, all right. Oh, one more thing. Another reason why I use the cardboard, I can pull the cardboard out from underneath there and pull all of my drain pan, my tools and stuff like that. And I use ramps. Okay, now you can use jack stands as well, hopefully not from Harbor Freight, but you know, whatever you do, you're probably going to have to get this thing up in the air to get it where you can get underneath it. They do sit a little bit lower, so doing an oil change without doing this is going to be difficult. Okay, all right, I'm going to pause this and show you a little bit more. Okay, y'all. Another reason why I use the quart bottles is it's easy to keep up with how many you've put in, okay? So, all right, this thing, was told it holds 5.5 quarts. I've got 5 in there now. I've got my air filter back in, bolts back in it. They are a 5/16 head on those bolts, which is the same as these guys right here. So that's a 5/16 head. Same thing as this clamp right here. I went ahead and took this clamp loose. It's not all that hard. It doesn't make it all that much easier by taking that loose, so I just thought I'd give it a try. Okay, I've pretty much got everything done here, so I'm going to start this guy up and let it sit here and idle and back it off the ramps and get it on some level ground so I can check the oil. Yeah. And while this apron, concrete apron right here, it looks to be like it's relatively level, it isn't. So it's just something you do need to be aware of. You know, make sure wherever you're checking your fluids at, it's relatively level. Okay, and alrighty. But also too, you know, when you're underneath there doing everything, look at everything else. Look at like your CV axles, the CV axle boots, tie rod ends, all of those chassis components under there. Oh, another thing, do yourself a huge favor. Get yourself a magnetic ratcheting screwdriver. Let me tell you, these are so nice. Okay. All right. I'll be right back. Okay, y'all. Here's how I keep up with the mileage on the vehicles. I just take like the oil filter lid, tear it off, and it's something I started years and years ago. It's just an easy way for me to keep up with everything. I know they do have the little stickers that you can put in your windshield. I don't do that usually because it's kind of hard for me to get a hold of stickers that don't have somebody's, you know, logo and all kinds of crap on there, you know. I'm just like, oh, forget So anyway, it's kind of aggravating, really. But all right, but to each their own. Okay, so you may have a different way to keep up with it. You may just put it on your phone. That's a nice way to do it. You know, that's actually a pretty good way to do it. But anyway, all right. So I know this video wasn't like all that crazy or not very technical or anything like that, but I will be getting into some more technical stuff here before too much longer. So thank you for watching, and if you have any questions about this video or any of the other videos, just feel free to comment down below. And oh, also, Happy New Year. Yeah, so, and yeah, feel free to comment down below if you have a different way of keeping up with that, you know, the mileage and stuff like that. And if you do, great, do it. Oh, and one other thing I want to share with you is here. Yeah, these are LED replacement bulbs for your fluorescent lights.